Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to talk about another belt. This belt has been given to me, and it's not from the people you're probably thinking of. This is the Core Essentials belt. So let's get into it. Alright, so Core Essentials reached out to me. This is probably like 2 months ago. I could look it up and actually get dates on it, but I'm estimating it's been a while. It's been a couple months. Yes, Core Essentials reached out to me. I think it was on Instagram, and they wanted to send me a belt to check out, look at, and just wear, see what I thought about it. And I was like, sure, like that's great. I love EDC belts. I had a really good one at the time. I had no intention of changing. But I've got to be honest with you. I've got to be completely honest with you. The Core Essential belt has changed my mind. I have been using another high dollar, well-recommended belt, right, from a well-recommended company. And it's been a fantastic belt, but the Core Essentials belt, in my opinion, is better on a couple different little things. So let's talk about it real quick. We're talking about the Core Essentials belt. I'm just gonna whip it out for you real quick. All right, I'll take off the gun. Hopefully nobody comes out of the woods and tries to shoot me. And the belt. All right, so let's talk about the first con. All right, I'm just gonna throw cons and pros in here all the way, and I'm just gonna try to make this short and simple. But I'm gonna try to give it a fair shake. Okay, like I said, I've been wearing this almost every day ever since they sent it to me. Once they sent it to me, I put it on, and I have one other belt that I looked at for about a week, but this has been on the rest of the time. So that should already be saying something, okay? It's got a little wear on it, obviously, honest wear. I just need to take it's nylon or whatever that stuff is. I just need to take a lighter and burn that off. But I just wanted to show you it did have honest wear, like honest wear, right? It's honest wearing. All right, so starting with the first con is it's a little floppy. Right, it's a little bit floppy. If you know much about ADC belts, right, and you're carrying guns, and they have guns that have things like this called a claw or whatever the fancy word the company wants to use. What those things do is that pushes the butt of the gun into you. Well, if you have a really stiff belt, that works really well. If you have a little bit more floppy belt, it still works, but not as well. This is a little bit floppy. It's kind of wore in. Again, like I said, I've been wearing this a lot. So it's kind of wore in. But it would be nice if somehow, I don't know if they added some kind of thing in the middle or whatever, but if they made this a little bit stiffer, or a lot stiffer, I don't know, however you want to put it. If they made it stiffer, it'd be very, very good. That's my main con. My other con is I do have to wear this belt with the buckle on the side. I went, when they asked me which belt I wanted to look at, I tried to go with the one with the smallest buckle, and this is a small buckle. For tactical pants or whatever, a lot of times these things have such massive buckles. You'll either get a massive hot spot over here on your hip where it keeps rubbing on you, or it's just so big on your belt buckle that you're always looking like you're happy to see people, or it just rubs holes in your shirts. It's just not a fun day if you wear your buckle up front, in my opinion. If you appendix carry, if you don't appendix carry, yeah, maybe it's a moot point. But that's a big benefit to this guy, is it has a smaller, very much smaller buckle. So whenever this guy actually goes in, and you'll hear it ratchet, talk about that in just a second. When it goes in, that's not a whole lot of width. The belt that I came away from has a very large rectangular looking buckle. It's heavy, it's big, I would get hot spots. It's a good belt, but this guy beats it hands down in that department. All right, so we just showed it has that ratchet, right? It's got that ratcheting system. And on the back side here, you got this little lever, whatever. You push that up and it opens up the ratchet. This guy right here. Can you see that in there? It opens that little fella up right there. It's a very simple design. This is not really designed to be like, you know, climbing on mountains and stuff, right? This is not a rigger's belt, right? So this is not made to be hanging off skyscrapers or whatever, you know, whatever kind of weird thing you might think you find yourself in. That's not what these things are made for. Now, could it hold you? I have no idea. That's not what it's made for. So that would be an unfair shake to even bring that up like I already did. But for EDC stuff, this is awesome. This is legitimately really, really cool, right? And here, I'll tell you why. I'll show you why. Whenever you put this thing on, I'm going to throw it on real quick. I'm going to show you something. Some belts, the other belt that I was looking at, you can't do this, where you just take the thing and you feed it through the belt loops, just like a normal pair of pants. It's not too big, it's not too thick, and you're on. you click it through, and you're done. Well, technically. Then you have the little tail, and they provide you a little piece of elastic to hold everything down back there, okay? The benefit of this guy is I just tighten this thing down. Now, I want to put my holster on. Well, my belt's tightened down. How easy is it to unloosen or to loosen the thing? You just push the little button on the side. You open up, then you open up your belt. That sounds like such a gimmicky, like, who cares, whatever. No, that actually makes a big difference when you're putting stuff on, when you're adjusting things. If you carry a gun, whether it be for a living or for just Second Amendment stuff, whatever, if you're carrying a gun and you're carrying stuff in your pants, it is so nice to be able to adjust things on the fly and not have to have, you know, X amount of holes that you have to deal with or whatever. And a lot of belts out there nowadays, they're adjustable and they're figuring it out. But this is a very secure way to do that because I can really ratchet this guy down and tighten everything up as tight as it's going to need to be. And I don't have to, it's never come loose. It's never popped loose. And if I need it to come loose, I just push the little button and I can adjust it however I want to adjust it. That sounds so commercially, right? Like I'm trying to throw an infomercial at you. But this is no joke. I do this all the time. I've been wearing, like I said, I've been wearing this belt for like 2 months. And I came away from a belt that I bought and nearly spent like $100 on it, right? This is working very well for me, right? Now, the perfect belt for me would be a belt that I would be able to wear that I don't know how the buckle would work, but I don't have to feed it in from the side. I feed it in from the front. That's very strong, that's very sturdy, that's not extra thick. This particular belt fails on the first account where I have to wear the buckle to the side, even though I don't get a hot spot because it's still small, it still works. But where it does, one thing it doesn't do as well, it is hard for you to probably see back over here, but there's enough flex in this that it kind of bends around the holster. And you do have to get it tightened down pretty well to actually activate that, that claw on most holsters. You got to cinch it down. Which in general, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's like, who cares? And then if you go sit down somewhere, you just pop the button. Nobody even knows what you're doing, and it's easy. The other belt that shall remain nameless, you had to pull a little lever over, basically, and sometimes that thing got stuck. Sometimes you have to use 2 hands. So you'd be sitting in your chair going like, you know, looking like you're cramping. It's like, that's not very discreet. This is very discreet. I mean, you could be digging in your pocket for something for all somebody knows. That's a big benefit, right? So there's ways around it. The fact that the belt is not as sturdy, not like sturdy, as rigid as it could be. A super rigid belt is hard to come by if it's thin. And this belt is thin. Another belt that I'm looking at or have looked at, it's very stiff, but it's also like a 1/4 inch thick. It's thick. It's a very thick belt. Maybe it's more than a 1/4 inch. I don't know, but it's a very thick belt where it does very well at using the claw, right? Or utilizing the claw and pushing the holster into you. It does super well at carrying all that stuff. And you know, you could carry a lot of weight on it, but it's super thick. And when it's really thick, you get that big looking spare tire, you know, tactical muffin looking thing going on, right? Which it's not really the biggest deal in the world, but it's there and it's, I don't know, it's kind of annoying. But that's my ultimate, that would be the ultimate belt that would do all those things. It would be thin, it would be super strong, it would be very rigid, and have a buckle that goes up front. So far, I have not found that belt. Honestly, so far, I will say it, this is my favorite belt that I have, and I will continue to wear this belt. Even though I have other belts, I have belts that I bought, I have belts that have been given to me. This belt will continue to be the one that I wear because for my needs and my purposes, this works very well. Just like there's no one gun for every situation and no one holster for every situation, a belt for everybody is kind of, again, like a pair of shoes, right? It's a piece of clothing, right? It has to match you. If you don't like it, you're not going to wear it, right? If you don't like certain stuff, you're not going to wear it. The belt, some guys are going to need a belt that can carry, you know, a duty belt, right? It can be an inner belt for your big outer belt. You might be able to use this for that. You probably could. This would be perfectly fine for that. But there are other belts out there that might be better, right? You might want a standalone belt and you're going to carry all that stuff on here. Well, in that case, maybe you want something that's a little bit more sturdy because this gives some flex to it. And you may not want some flex to it. For me and my EDC everyday carry, I keep throwing that term around, but my everyday carry purposes, I generally just carry a gun on here and just throw some stuff in my pockets. I don't carry Leathermans and tourniquets and stuff all over my belt, so I don't need a huge, thick, you know, belt that I can, you know, Batman belt, whatever, that can carry a whole bunch of crap on. I carry like one thing on it, a gun, and it holds my pants up. It's pretty simple, but it's a very, very important thing, because if you don't have a good belt and you carry a gun, you carry stuff, you know, if you carry a whole bunch of stuff in your pants are going to fall down. But if you don't have a good belt and you've never had a good belt, go find a good belt and try it, and you will be amazed at the difference in comfort level and efficiency that it actually utilizes the holster's features and stuff. You'll be amazed, because a good belt is like the backbone of your EVC. So for me, I'm gonna keep using that's the holster. I'm gonna keep using the Core Essentials belt. I do like it. I'll continue to run it. It's just a good belt. That's all I got to say about it. All right, y'all be good to be safe. Let me know what you think about this stuff. Really do. If you've used these belts, let me know. I've now given them probably more of a fair shake than I've given any other thing that was sent to me, because I've worn it for so long, I've used it for so long, and it just continues to do what it needs to do, which is, it's a very simple thing, and it hasn't failed in my major categories. Like, if it was breaking, that'd be really, really bad. It's not breaking. It holds my pants up and holds my gun. Very, very simple stuff. And the fact that when you buy it, you buy like this big length of it, basically, and you cut it to your length, right? So there's no guessing what sizes. You figure out what size you need it, cut it to your length, you screw everything in, it's super secure, and it just works. All right, so that wraps it up. That's it. Hope you all enjoyed that. Let me know what you think, and that's pretty much it. Y'all be good to be safe, and hopefully we'll catch y'all in the next video. Okay, one more thing. Let's do this real quick. I hate doing this, but I'm just going to start doing it and see if it makes any difference. I do have a Patreon. And I do have a merch thing, whatever. It's not a merch shelf. It's not down there. They won't give it to me yet. I don't know why. But I do have merch stuff from Teespring. Teespring is just, you create t-shirts and hats and hoodies and socks and underwear and stuff. I don't think they have underwear. They have leggings. But there's all that stuff out there, and I just put my logo on there. And if you want to support the stuff that I do, my shenanigans and whatnot, you can go buy something and I'll get like $1, depending on what it is. You know, I might get a couple of dollars. But yeah, it's a simple way that if you really like what we do, right, the channel, the reviewing stuff, the looking at stuff, the things that we do, if you like it and want to support it and you just want to have something to show for it, this stuff's not bad, right? The merch is not that bad. Not that bad. That really sounds really, really great. No, the shirts are good quality for the ones that I've used. This is not mine. This is another company. The shirts have been great. I actually like them. They're nice and soft and stuff. The hoodies, I don't have one of their hoodies. I bought my daughter one of their sweaters, and it looks pretty cool. And just different stuff. It's cool. It's fun. But it's something that you can actually buy and use. The cups are actually really cool. But yeah, it's just something you can buy and use and actually have something tangible. If you just want to throw money at me and just let me do whatever I want to do with it, I do have a Patreon. There's a couple guys over there. You guys know who you are. Really solid, cool guys. But if you just want to throw money at me over there, that's a way to do it, if you feel so inclined. Basically, over on Patreon, we try to post at least one other video per week of more of an update and keeping people current on what's going on. But I don't know. I'm not always able to do it, so it's a hit and miss. Sometimes there's a video, sometimes there's not a video. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to stop begging for money, and if you all like that, then you go do it. If that totally turned you off and you hate this, then give it a thumbs down. Report the channel, and what's the other thing you do? Unsubscribe. There you go. Y'all do that. Y'all take care.